Slave Manga back in with another YouTube video, and today I wanted to go over some of the different volumes I have in my collection from the author Shuzo Oshimi. So the middle one is actually Femme Fatale, which is actually an art book of all the different works from Shuzo Oshimi. And so right here in front of us is actually some of the volumes that I have in my collection from the different series that Shuzo has put out. Starting from the left, we'll go with Inside Mari. Very, very good read. I honestly recommend all of these. They're very, very good reads. I haven't finished about two, maybe three of these within the series. But I know that I do have Happiness and Flowers of Evil completed. So now we'll move on to the second one, as I just stated, Happiness. Very, very good read as well. And I'll go through an overview of these here in a second. And there again, Femme Fatale for number 3, which is going to be an art book that, if you want to pick it up, you can. But for me, I just really like Shuzo Oshimi's works that much that, I don't have that many art books in my collection, and I thought it was deserving of one. And so we'll go on to the next one, which will be Blood on the Tracks. I honestly love the artwork. I think from Blood on the Tracks, a little bit more than some of the other in the series. But Happiness has to be right there, probably at a close tie with it, because some of the Van Gogh-esque artworks that can come off within the series is very amazing, whether it's in color or just in the traditional manga black and white. And so now we'll move on to the last one, which is probably my favorite, which is actually the first one that got me into Shuzo Oshimi when I learned about it from Insidious Swede back in the day. And Flowers of Evil. It's amazing. I actually even wanted to read the back of the first 3-in-1, which says the acclaimed series. It follows the adventures of a lonely, bookish teen struggling to find his identity through Baudelaire's poetry, until two girls, a beauty and a bully, help him find true love and friendship. Edgy, intense, and romantic, this new edition will give fans a chance to reconnect. Da 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 da. As you see, it is a very, very interesting, dynamic read if you ever are interested in the pickup. I definitely recommend it. And I own it in the 3-in-1 editions. I would definitely recommend going that route if you were trying to save money. The original single volumes, I believe, are out of print. And so you could probably pick up all 11 or 12 for, I believe, maybe 100, maybe 200 if the price has gone up since the last I checked. So I'll take a brief moment for water, if you don't mind. Appreciate the patience. And so now I wanted to go over an overview over some of these. I kind of did Flowers of Evil, but maybe I'll just give my thoughts and opinions when I wrap it up at the end. So I'll start from left to right and go with Inside Mari. I actually only own one volume of Inside Mari. I believe it is finished by now, and I think it has 10 volumes within the series. So I definitely do need to pick those up within time. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it is definitely on the list. Probably within, I'm going to say like the top 50. There's some that I still keep on my radar. I don't really collect manga as much as I did when I first started, but it's probably going to be a thing that I definitely continue because of how passionate I am about kind of book collecting, manga collecting, and anime as a whole. It is a very thing that I hold dear in my life. So, with that said, we'll go in with Inside Mari and what it's about. Um, Without giving too much away, I like to think of it as a Freaky Friday story. But instead of body switching with your mom, you body switch with, like, your favorite crush. So you see this girl in high school and you're like, wow, she's amazing. And then you get transformed into her, and then life just goes on from there. And so, as I said, I only own one volume of this, but I'll definitely be looking to pick up more. So I can't give too many thoughts and opinions of how the ending may go or anything like that. And so we'll have to move on from there and go into the second, which I actually am familiar with and have read all of the books in the series, which is 1 through 10 of Happiness. And as the cover implies, it's probably about vampires or ghouls or something along those lines. And if you assumed vampires, you are correct, for it is a vampire manga, but I feel like it touches on things a little bit differently, but also the same as a lot of the preconceived notions of what a vampire manga is. But I feel like the art style, as I enjoy with Shuzo Oshimi, the characters are a little bit soft, but also they have a good amount of expression to them. And I feel like that's always what you want to enjoy, is that kind of the relatableness with the characters and stuff like that. And I feel like when you can express expression very well within stories, then you will probably enamor your audience very well and captivate them with your characters. And so, with just a little brief overview of Happiness, you kind of have like kind of the little book geek, kind of like from Flowers of Evil, but he ends up meeting this girl who is, yes, a vampire, who actually, I want to say, attacks a homeless person, like literally right off page 1. And then you're like, okay, this is gonna get good. And it does get pretty good. I don't like to ruin, the story too much, but it's a very interesting and dynamic read, as most of Shuzo Oshimi's works are. I don't really think that there's one that doesn't kind of hit some type of emotional note when reading one of his stories. Or her stories. I actually am not familiar with Shuzo Oshimi, if it is a male or a female. Forgive me for that. So next up, we'll actually go off with Femme Fatale, which is the art book. And I might actually show one or two panels of it. Here's a good example of some of the aspects of what you could believe in happiness. And then there is some stories that I'm actually not familiar with from Shuzo Oshimi. There again, one of the bigger aspects of why I liked Happiness as well, some of the very creative coloristry, like Van Gogh kid-esque artwork. There again, some of Flowers of Evil, very, very well done as well. Definitely a cool pickup if, like myself, you didn't have many art books within your collection, but also on the bigger front that I actually really enjoy Shuzo Oshimi's works, so why not grab a art book that encompasses most of the works, if not all of them? Because, like I just said, there is a good amount of stories in the art book that I am actually not even familiar with, and maybe some of them are only in Japanese. So, not knowing Japanese, kind of miss out on a lot of things, especially in the manga world. And so I think we'll get off the art book for now, and we'll move on next to Blood on the Tracks. So this one actually intrigued me the most just from book 1. Um, I actually, there again, only own one volume in the series. I definitely am interested in looking to get more Blood on the Tracks than I am Inside Mari, because it's so emotionally interesting. And what I can say about that is they start the story out where you're on like this family picnic and you're up on these cliffs, and then, believe it or not, somebody ends up dying, and you're like, whoa, okay, this got crazy. It's like not blood on the tracks, but almost blood on the cliffs. So it almost kind of makes me curious why it's even named Blood on the Tracks. Not to give away too much of the story and actually throw you off of like, what is the story even about? There again, it's about the picnic and some of the family dynamics within the story, and so um, very interesting to see where the rest of the story picks up on. And so, with only reading volume one, very enticed to pick up more and finish it in my collection eventually. But that is all I can really say about Blood on the Tracks. And so, finally, we will move on to Flowers of Evil. And I've already gave a brief overview of how Flowers of Evil plays out with the little book nerd, and having his experience with the two other girls, which one is kind of like a run of the mill. She's kind of like your perfect teenager, and then your other one's kind of more like your um, thrill seeker who's kind of still exploring life and how she feels, etc. And so it can be a very emotionally pulling as well. And I actually finished and own all of Flowers of Evil, so it is definitely worth the pickup. If I could give any advice there, as I said, I'd go through the 3-in-1 routes. As I mentioned earlier, the singles can get a little bit expensive. And I felt like I did a decent overview of some of the different works of Shuzo Oshimi within my collection and things I'd actually still like to grow more. And I'd like to point out that it's up in the top left corner near the Battle Angel Alita poster. You could see Happiness, Goodnight Poon Poon, Solana, stuff like that, which is right next to one of the next video ideas I have, but we'll have to get into that next time. So I'm gonna have to close here, guys, and I hope you guys have a great night or day, whatever you're gonna be watching, and enjoy the 2025 new year. And again, East Slave Manga, back again with another YouTube video. Hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.